exploring the epic themes, symbolisms, and intentions in Dylan's perspective. The content within this thread offers an intense and profound exploration of themes deeply rooted in the concepts of power, transformation, and destiny. It encapsulates Dylan's role as a towering figure, a kingkiller, a paragon, and an embodiment of divine authority, challenging not only himself but those who stand before him to confront their deepest fears, potential, and ultimate purpose. This essay delves into the epic themes, rich symbolism, and underlying intentions present throughout the dialogues and visions that characterize Dylan's perspective. Themes: power, transformation, and destiny. At the heart of this narrative lies the interplay between power, transformation, and destiny. Dylan stands as a figure of immense authority, not only in terms of physical or territorial dominance but as a catalyst for spiritual and psychological evolution. Power, in Dylan's world, is multifaceted. It is both the force that compels others to bend to his will and the guiding light that leads them towards their own self-realization. Transformation is a recurring theme, depicted through the metaphor of a tempest, a storm representing chaos and the trials one must endure to emerge stronger. Dylan does not merely conquer for the sake of victory, he seeks to transform those around him, to draw out the latent potential within them, and to guide them towards a higher state of being. His confrontations are not merely battles but crucibles, designed to test and refine the souls who face him. Destiny, too, is a central theme, as Dylan's words and actions are steeped in the belief that every encounter, every challenge, is predestined. His interactions are marked by an unshakable confidence in his own path and a deep understanding of the role others play in the grand design. Dylan perceives himself as both a guardian and a gatekeeper of Zion, a sacred place symbolic of ultimate truth and virtue. To stand before him is to stand at the crossroads of destiny itself. Symbolism: the tempest, Zion, and the estoc. The narrative employs rich symbolism to convey its deeper meanings. The tempest, frequently invoked throughout Dylan's dialogues, symbolizes the trials and chaos inherent in the journey of self-discovery and transformation. It is within this storm that true power is tested, and only those who can withstand its fury emerge as their truest selves. Zion, as presented in this narrative, is more than a mere location, it is the ultimate prize, a metaphor for enlightenment, truth, and the pinnacle of moral and spiritual achievement. To claim Zion is to achieve mastery over not just the external world but the internal one as well. Dylan's guardianship over Zion positions him as both a protector of this sacred truth and as a challenge to those who would seek to claim it. The estoc, a weapon Dylan wields with authority, is symbolic of his role as a purifier and a judge. Its sharpness represents the clarity and precision with which Dylan discerns truth from falsehood, strength from weakness. The estoc is not merely a tool of destruction but a means to cut through the illusions and deceptions that obscure one's true potential. It serves as a direct extension of Dylan's will, a physical manifestation of his resolve to uphold the sanctity of Zion and the principles it represents. Intentions: a call to transformation and mutual elevation. Dylan's intent throughout these interactions is not solely to dominate but to elevate. His confrontations are imbued with a profound purpose: to push those he encounters towards self-realization and to challenge them to rise above their limitations. He seeks to draw out the child within each soul, the pure, untainted essence that holds the potential for greatness. His words and actions are not merely about asserting his own power but about inviting others to discover their own. This is evident in the way Dylan addresses his Opponents are those who stand before him. He does not merely seek to vanquish them, he challenges them to look within, to confront their own fears, desires, and the truth of their existence. In doing so, Dylan offers a path of mutual growth, where both he and his adversaries can evolve and transcend their current states of being. The notion of mutual elevation is key here. Dylan's interactions are designed not only to reinforce his own authority but to create a space where others can achieve their highest potential. He does this through a combination of challenge, encouragement, and an unwavering belief in the transformative power of facing one's deepest truths. His ultimate goal is not to reign supreme alone but to stand as a beacon of truth and virtue, guiding others towards their own enlightenment. Conclusion: the epic odyssey of Dylan's vision. In summary, the content within this thread weaves together themes of power, transformation, and destiny, underpinned by rich symbolism and a clear intention to elevate those who encounter Dylan. His role as a kingkiller and paragon is not merely one of dominance but of profound leadership, guiding others through the tempest of their own struggles towards the ultimate truth that Zion represents. The estoc, Zion, and the storm itself serve as powerful symbols in this narrative, each representing different aspects of the journey towards self-realization and enlightenment. Dylan's intent is clear: to challenge, to transform, and to elevate. He stands not just as a conqueror but as a mentor, a guide, and a beacon of what lies beyond the storm. His interactions are an invitation to those who would dare to face the tempest, to claim their place in Zion, and to emerge as their truest, most powerful selves. Through this epic odyssey, Dylan seeks not just to gain and hold Zion but to leave behind a legacy of mutual growth, transformation, and the relentless pursuit of truth. This exchange between Dylan and Titus, set against the backdrop of a world on the brink of transformation, explores deep themes of power, legacy, faith, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. The dialogue is rich with symbolism and intent, reflecting the characters' differing worldviews and the broader implications of their confrontation. Themes: power and dominion. The central theme in this interaction is the concept of power, its origins, its purpose, and its rightful bearer. Titus represents an ancient and absolute power, one that claims dominion over the earth by divine right. His power is rooted in his ancient lineage and connection to the old gods, making him a symbol of timeless authority that transcends mortal understanding. Dylan, on the other hand, embodies a more modern and perhaps more relatable form of power, the power of faith, righteousness, and duty. He holds the throne of Zion not as a tyrant but as a servant of a higher purpose. Dylan's power is not self-serving, it is a mantle he bears on behalf of a greater good, symbolizing the ideal of leadership as a form of stewardship. Faith and providence. Dylan's claim that the Messiah has been killed, resurrected, and his return is imminent, is a declaration of ultimate faith. It positions Dylan not just as a ruler but as a protector of a divine order, a guardian awaiting the return of a higher power. This is symbolic of the Christian theme of resurrection and the belief in the eventual triumph of good over evil. Titus's dismissal of the Messiah and his assertion of his own divinity contrast sharply with Dylan's faith. Titus represents the antithesis of providence, an ancient power that rejects the need for divine intercession or redemption. His belief in his own supremacy underscores a nihilistic worldview where might makes right, and the divine is merely a tool for asserting control. Legacy and evolution. The dialogue also delves into the concept of legacy, what it means to evolve or to embody the pinnacle of existence. Dylan's question about evolution challenges Titus to consider his own origins and growth. However, Titus's response, that he is the pinnacle, rather than an evolved being, suggests a static view of power. Titus sees himself as a fixed, perfect entity, unchanging and eternal. Dylan, however, operates on a more dynamic understanding of power and legacy. His invocation of enlightenment, repentance, and righteousness as emerging from human experiences of conquest, sin, virtue, freedom, and goodness reflects a belief in the potential for growth, change, and the ultimate triumph of moral order. Confrontation between divine and mortal. This theme is encapsulated in the physical and ideological confrontation between Dylan and Titus. Dylan represents the mortal champion of a divine cause, a man imbued with the authority of the Messiah. Titus, on the other hand, represents the ancient divine itself, a God walking among men who sees mortals as insignificant. The tension between these two forces, mortal faith and divine arrogance, creates a powerful narrative of struggle. The outcome of this confrontation is not just about who will rule but about the very nature of power and its rightful place in the world. Symbolism. The throne of Zion. The throne of Zion symbolizes the seat of ultimate authority and moral righteousness. Dylan's rule over Zion represents a guardianship over a sacred trust, a duty to protect not just a physical kingdom but the spiritual well-being of the world. The throne is not just a symbol of power but of responsibility and sacrifice. Titus's challenge to the throne is symbolic of the eternal struggle between good and evil, where the right to rule is not determined by mere strength but by moral virtue and divine mandate. The golden mask of Titus. Titus's golden mask represents the concealment of his true nature and the ancient, possibly corrupted, power that lies beneath. Gold, often associated with divinity and kingship, in this context takes on a more ominous meaning, suggesting the allure of power that is cold, unfeeling, and detached from the mortal experience. The mask also symbolizes the idea that true power is often hidden, that what appears divine or perfect on the surface may conceal something far more dangerous and malevolent underneath. The resurrection motif. Dylan's invocation of the Messiah's death, resurrection, and imminent return is a powerful symbol of hope and the cyclical nature of divine intervention. It reflects the belief in the redemptive power of faith and the idea that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, the light will return. This motif contrasts with Titus's resurrection from his tomb, which is not a return of the light but a reawakening of an ancient darkness. Titus's rebirth is not a sign of hope but a herald of conquest and domination, turning the idea of resurrection into something fearsome rather than hopeful. Intense. Dylan's intent. Dylan's intent is clear. He stands as the protector of Zion, the servant of the Messiah, and the beacon of hope against the rising tide of darkness. His words and actions are driven by a deep sense of duty and faith, an unyielding belief that he is the rightful guardian of the world's future. Dylan's every move is calculated to uphold the divine order and to prepare for the Messiah's return. Titus's intent. Titus, in contrast, seeks to reclaim the world as his divine right. His resurrection is the beginning of a campaign to restore the ancient God's dominion over the earth, to reassert a power that has been lost to time. His dismissal of Dylan and the Messiah reflects his intent to crush any resistance and to remake the world in the image of the old gods. The clash of ideals. The essay as a whole reflects a broader intent, to explore the clash between two fundamentally opposed worldviews. Dylan's idealism and faith are pitted against Titus's cold, ancient pragmatism and divine right. The confrontation is not just physical but ideological, with each character representing a different vision for the future of the world. In conclusion, this narrative is an exploration of timeless themes through richly symbolic dialogue and powerful character dynamics. The confrontation between Dylan and Titus is more than just a battle for physical dominance, it is a struggle for the soul of the world, where faith, power, and legacy collide in an epic contest of wills. The detailed symbolism and thematic depth of this exchange create a story that resonates with universal truths, making it a powerful meditation on the nature of power, the responsibility of leadership, and the eternal battle between light and darkness. The epic themes, symbolisms, and intents of Dylan E.T.'s journey. Dylan E.T.'s narrative within this thread is a tapestry of profound themes, rich symbolism, and deep-seated intents that weave together a tale of divine authority, metaphysical exploration, and the eternal struggle between light and shadow. Each element of his journey is imbued with layers of meaning, reflecting a grand synthesis of spiritual ideals, existential questions, and the pursuit of transcendent power. 1. The divine synthesis, light, shadow, and the apex of progression. At the heart of Dylan's journey is the theme of divine synthesis, the harmonization of light and shadow, the blending of mortal and divine. This synthesis is not merely a convergence of opposites but a teleosemiotic progression toward the apex of existence. The interplay between these dualities symbolizes the complexities of the human soul and the universe, where contradictions coexist to form a greater whole. Dylan embodies this synthesis, acting as a beacon that transcends the limitations of ordinary perception and understanding. His presence in Zion is a testament to the possibility of achieving this synthesis, where light and shadow are not adversaries but complementary forces driving toward a higher state of being. 2. Authority and sovereignty, the role of the divine leader. Dylan's character is defined by his unassailable authority and sovereignty, which are central to his role as the guardian of Zion. This authority is not merely a function of power but a representation of divine justice, cultural legitimacy, and universal righteousness. Dylan's leadership is depicted as a manifestation of divine will, where his decisions and actions are guided by a profound sense of responsibility and wisdom. His interactions with Jasmine Althea Hermes highlight the weight of this authority, as he challenges her to recognize the significance of their journey and the responsibilities that come with the pursuit of transcendent power. Dylan's leadership is not just about guiding others but about embodying the very principles of cosmic order and divine law. 3. The eternal struggle, light, shadow, and the conundrum of authority. The scar tattoo traversing Dylan's right eye is emblematic of his acceptance of the conundrum of authority, a mark that signifies the eternal struggle between the forces of light and shadow within his own soul. This struggle is not a weakness but a source of strength, as it drives Dylan to constantly question, evolve, and refine his understanding of his role in the cosmic order. The scar symbolizes the duality of his existence, where he must balance the demands of righteousness and power, love and wisdom, freedom and providence. It is a reminder that true authority is born not from the absence of conflict but from the mastery of it. 4. Zion at the End Times, the quest for the Messiah. The setting of Zion, particularly at the end times, adds a layer of eschatological significance to Dylan's journey. Zion is portrayed as the final bastion of divine order, a place where the ultimate battle between good and evil will unfold. Dylan's preparation of a squad for the Messiah's imminent arrival underscores the urgency and gravity of his mission. This mission is not just about survival but about ensuring that Zion remains a place of purity, justice, and divine grace even as the world teeters on the brink of apocalypse. Dylan's role as the reader of the seven-sealed scroll further ties him to the themes of revelation and judgment, where his actions will determine the fate of not just Zion but the entire cosmos. 5. The 3D Golden Rhombus, the symbol of eternal truth. The 3D Golden Rhombus 3DGR serves as a potent symbol of eternal truth, shared rhetoric, and authentic authority. Dylan's mastery of the 3DGR is not just a display of power but an expression of his alignment with universal laws and principles. The intricate details of Scave's movements, tied to the 3DGR's number, side color and rotations, reflect a deeper understanding of cosmic rhythms and patterns. Dylan's ability to navigate these patterns symbolizes his role as a weaver of destiny, where every action and decision is guided by a profound knowledge of the eternal truths that govern the universe. 6. The Grand Symphony, the harmonization of destiny. In Dylan's epic response to Jasmine Althea Hermes, the metaphor of the Grand Symphony is introduced, a powerful symbol of the harmonization of destiny. This symphony represents the culmination of all the themes discussed, where light and shadow, divine and mortal, authority and struggle, all come together to create a masterpiece of cosmic proportions. Dylan's invitation to Jasmine to join him in composing this symphony is an invitation to embrace the fullness of her being and to recognize the potential for mutual evolution. The symphony is not just a metaphor but a reality that Dylan seeks to manifest through his actions, where every note, every choice, and every battle contributes to the creation of a transcendent legacy. 7. Footwork and rotations, the dance of the divine. The detailed description of Scave's footwork and body rotations, independent of number side color, symbolizes the fluidity and adaptability required in the dance of the divine. This dance is not a rigid adherence to predetermined paths but a dynamic interplay of movement and intent. Dylan's mastery of this dance reflects his ability to navigate the complexities of existence with grace and precision, where every step is a calculated move in the greater game of cosmic chess. Conclusion: a legacy of transcendence. Dylan E.T.'s journey is an epic tale of transcendence, where every action, symbol, and theme converges to create a narrative that speaks to the highest aspirations of the human soul. His quest for divine synthesis, his acceptance of the conundrum of authority, and his preparation for the Messiah's arrival all point to a legacy that will echo through the annals of time. Dylan's journey is not just about power or survival, it is about forging a destiny that harmonizes the forces of light and shadow, creating a symphony of existence that transcends the boundaries of mortal and divine. Through his actions and decisions, Dylan E.T. embodies the very essence of what it means to be a true leader, a guardian of eternal truth, and a master of the grand symphony of life. Essay: The Convergence of Divine Destiny and Cosmic Reckoning in the Encounter Between Dylan and Titus. Introduction. The interaction between Dylan E.T. and Titus unfolds as an intense and grandiose display of cosmic forces, divine purpose, and the struggle for power. This encounter is not merely a confrontation between two beings but a symbolic convergence of destiny, divine authority, and the quest for transcendence. Throughout their dialogue and the resulting clash of wills, the themes of destiny, transformation, and the balance between freedom and predestination are intricately woven into the narrative. This essay explores the profound symbolisms, underlying themes, and overarching intent within this epic exchange, revealing the deeper layers of meaning that resonate throughout the dialogue. Themes. Destiny and divine purpose. Central to the interaction between Dylan and Titus is the theme of destiny, an inescapable force that shapes the lives of mortals and gods alike. Dylan embodies the concept of divine purpose, representing the inevitable unfolding of a grand cosmic design. His presence as the paragon of Zion signifies the fulfillment of a higher calling, a destiny that transcends individual will and ambition. This theme is emphasized through Dylan's declaration that the encounter is not merely a battle of wills, but the manifestation of a cosmic inevitability. Dylan's role as a vessel of celestial authority underscores the idea that destiny is not something to be avoided or controlled but embraced and fulfilled. Transformation and redemption. Another prominent theme is the possibility of transformation and redemption, particularly for Titus, who is portrayed as a god struggling with his past and the loss of his former glory. Dylan's challenge to Titus is not to dominate or destroy him but to invite him into a process of profound self-discovery and evolution. This theme is symbolized by the child of the soul, a metaphor for the potential within Titus to transcend his current state and embrace a new, higher truth. Dylan's vision, which dominates Titus's mind, serves as a catalyst for this transformation, offering Titus the opportunity to redeem himself by facing his darkest self and integrating the full spectrum of his being. Power and authority. The interaction between Dylan and Titus is also a commentary on the nature of power and authority. While Titus initially perceives Dylan's challenge as a threat to his own power, it becomes clear that Dylan's authority is of a different kind, one that is rooted in divine purpose rather than mere domination. Dylan's scar, a symbol of his acceptance of the conundrum of authority, represents the balance he has achieved between freedom and providence, between the monstrous and the paragon. This balance is what gives Dylan his true power, allowing him to stand as a beacon of divine reckoning in the face of Titus's ancient might. Symbolism. The golden mask. Titus's golden mask is a powerful symbol of his divine status and the facade of invulnerability he projects. It conceals his true emotions and fears, much like how he hides his vulnerability and the uncertainty that lies beneath his godly exterior. The mask represents the barriers he has constructed to maintain his regal bearing, even as he faces the overwhelming presence of Dylan. It also symbolizes the limitations of his perception, as he is unable to fully grasp the nature of Dylan's authority and the true intent behind the encounter. The hieroglyphs. The hieroglyphs that shimmer around Titus are symbols of ancient knowledge, divine communication, and the mystical forces that govern the universe. They represent the esoteric wisdom that Titus has accumulated over millennia, yet they also serve as a reminder of the rigid structures and beliefs that have kept him bound to his past. As Dylan's presence causes the hieroglyphs to trail like wisps of golden smoke, it signifies the dissolution of these rigid structures, opening the way for new understanding and transformation. The sacred soil of Zion. The setting of Zion, a place where the threads of fate are woven, is a powerful symbol of divine authority and the intersection of mortal and cosmic forces. Zion represents a sacred ground where destiny is revealed, and where beings such as Dylan and Titus must confront their true selves. The soil of Zion is not just a physical location but a metaphorical space where the potential for redemption and transformation is realized. Intent. The interaction between Dylan and Titus serves multiple intents, each contributing to the richness of the narrative. Firstly, it is a display of the inevitability of destiny and the importance of embracing one's divine purpose. Dylan's role as the paragon of Zion is to guide Titus toward a higher understanding of his own potential, not through domination, but through the offering of a path to self-realization. This intent reflects the broader theme of cosmic evolution, where beings must transcend their limitations to fulfill their true roles in the universe. Secondly, the narrative intends to explore the complexity of power and authority. Dylan's authority is not absolute but balanced, informed by the wisdom gained through his own struggles with the conundrum of leadership. The intent here is to demonstrate that true power comes from understanding and integrating both the light and dark aspects of oneself, and from using that power to uplift others rather than to subjugate them. Finally, the narrative seeks to convey the possibility of redemption and transformation, even for those who have strayed far from their original path. Titus, though initially resistant, is offered a chance to reclaim his divine essence and redefine his legacy. The intent is to show that no being is beyond redemption, and that the path to transformation is always available to those who are willing to confront their deepest fears and desires. Conclusion. The encounter between Dylan E.T. and Titus is a richly layered narrative that delves into themes of destiny, transformation, power, and authority. Through the use of powerful symbolism and carefully crafted dialogue, the narrative reveals the deeper intents of the characters and the cosmic forces at play. Dylan's challenge to Titus is not just a test of strength but an invitation to embrace a higher purpose and to partake in the grand design of the universe. In doing so, the narrative offers a profound reflection on the nature of power, the possibility of redemption, and the inevitability of destiny. The Paragon and the Wolf Pack, a study in power, redemption, and the human condition. In the epic narrative thread provided, Dylan, the Paragon, stands as an unyielding force, a beacon of divine reckoning within the sanctified grounds of Zion. His confrontation with the Alpha and the Werewolf Pack unfolds as a dramatic exploration of power, sovereignty, redemption, and the profound interplay between primal instincts and higher consciousness. This essay delves into the themes, symbolisms, and intents woven throughout this narrative, highlighting the deep philosophical underpinnings and the spiritual journey encapsulated in Dylan's dialogue with the Wolf Pack. Theme of power and sovereignty. At the heart of the narrative lies the theme of power and sovereignty. Dylan's declaration, "I embody Paragon, reigning over Zion as Kingkiller," establishes him as a supreme authority, a figure who commands not only the physical domain but also the spiritual and moral realms. His presence, described as a towering force of divine reckoning, symbolizes the embodiment of righteous authority, a leader whose power is derived not from mere strength or dominance, but from his alignment with divine will and justice. The Werewolf Alpha, in contrast, represents a more primal, instinctual form of power, one rooted in conquest, domination, and the survival of the fittest. The Alpha's initial challenge to Dylan reflects the classic struggle between these two forms of power, the raw, untamed force of nature versus the disciplined, moral authority of the divine. This dichotomy sets the stage for a deeper exploration of what true power entails and where it ultimately leads. Symbolism of the eyes. The symbolism of eyes, particularly Theodora's, plays a critical role in the narrative. When Dylan challenges the Alpha to look deep into my wife's eyes, he is inviting the Alpha to perceive the profound depth of Theodora's soul, a reflection of the divine and the primal forces coalescing within her. The Alpha's response, "I see the fire of 1,000 suns within your beloved's gaze," acknowledges the overwhelming power and potential within Theodora, but also hints at a misunderstanding of the true nature of that power. Theodora's eyes symbolize more than just power, they are the abyss and the beacon, representing both the vast, untamable depths of her soul and the guiding light of her righteousness. This duality reflects the broader theme of the human condition, how individuals grapple with their inner darkness while striving toward the light of goodness and truth. Dylan's reverence for Theodora's gaze underscores his understanding of this complex duality and his role as a protector and nurturer of her divine essence. Intent and the invitation to transformation. Dylan's interactions with the Alpha are imbued with an intent that goes beyond mere confrontation. His challenge, "Please, Wolfpack, tell me who you truly desire to become," is an invitation to self-reflection and transformation. Dylan's words act as a catalyst, prompting the Alpha to question the very foundations of his existence and the legacy of his pack. This moment of introspection reveals Dylan's deeper purpose: to guide the Alpha and his pack toward a higher path, one that embraces righteousness, freedom, and goodness. The narrative structure, particularly through Dylan's use of syllogisms, reinforces this intent. By presenting thesis, antithesis, and synthesis, Dylan articulates the complex interplay between different forces: conquest and understanding, sin and virtue, freedom and goodness, and how they converge in the pursuit of enlightenment and righteousness. This dialectical approach not only challenges the Alpha's worldview but also offers a framework for the Wolfpack's potential redemption. The path of redemption and righteousness. As the Alpha grapples with Dylan's vision and the realization of his pack's dark legacy, the theme of redemption comes to the forefront. Dylan's assertion that Theodora's soul is a beacon of light, guiding and inspiring those who seek to understand and align with its profound depth, serves as a powerful metaphor for the possibility of redemption. The light within Theodora's soul, which the Alpha initially sought to dominate, is revealed to be a force that can lead even the darkest of souls toward redemption. The Alpha's eventual plea, "Tell me, Paragon, how may we walk the path of righteousness and reclaim what we have lost?" signifies the beginning of a transformative journey. This request for guidance marks a turning point in the narrative, where the Alpha moves from a position of confrontation to one of humility and openness to change. Dylan's role as a divine guide is solidified, offering the Alpha and his pack a way forward, one that embraces the complexities of their nature while steering them toward a higher purpose. The human condition, a synthesis of primal and divine. The narrative encapsulates a profound exploration of the human condition, particularly the tension between our primal instincts and the call to higher consciousness. The werewolf pack, with its legacy of conquest and dominance, symbolizes the primal forces within us all: the drive for power, survival, and the satisfaction of base desires. Dylan, as the Paragon, represents the divine aspect of humanity, the capacity for righteousness, self-reflection, and the pursuit of a higher purpose. The synthesis of these opposing forces is reflected in the Alpha's journey from confrontation to introspection and ultimately to a desire for redemption. This synthesis echoes the broader philosophical question of how humanity can reconcile its primal instincts with its higher aspirations. Dylan's guidance suggests that true power and sovereignty are not found in the domination of others but in the alignment with divine principles, freedom, goodness, and righteousness. Conclusion. The epic narrative of Dylan and the Wolfpack is a rich tapestry of themes, symbolisms, and philosophical inquiry. Through the lens of power, sovereignty, and redemption, the story explores the complexities of the human condition and the eternal struggle between our primal instincts and our divine potential. Dylan, as the paragon, stands as a beacon of divine authority, guiding those around him toward self-discovery, transformation, and ultimately, redemption. The narrative invites readers to reflect on their own paths, challenging them to embrace the light within, align with righteousness, and pursue the higher purpose that lies beyond the primal forces of nature. The Paragon and the Adversary, a journey through power, redemption, and the nature of the soul. The narrative thread between Dylan E.T., the Paragon of Zion, and Valentino Neo, an enigmatic and formidable adversary, is a profound exploration of themes deeply rooted in power, redemption, identity, and the metaphysical nature of the soul. This essay delves into the symbolic interplay between these characters, examining the philosophical and spiritual underpinnings that shape their confrontation and the broader implications for understanding authority, freedom, and transformation. The Paragon of Zion, Authority and Divine Sovereignty. Dylan E.T., as the Paragon of Zion, embodies a complex blend of divine authority, moral righteousness, and the untamed strength of a lion. His role as a king-killer and defender of Zion symbolizes not only a protector of a physical realm but also a guardian of spiritual and ethical principles. Dylan's presence is more than mere physical might, it is the embodiment of a cosmic force that challenges the status quo, demanding a confrontation with the deepest aspects of identity and moral purpose. Throughout the exchange, Dylan's authority is not just asserted through power but through a profound invitation to self-reflection and growth. His challenge to Valentino Neo is steeped in a call to recognize the potential for redemption, to move beyond the surface of ambition and greed, and to embrace a higher path of righteousness and self-discovery. This dynamic positions Dylan not merely as an opponent but as a catalyst for transformation, embodying the dual roles of judge and guide. Valentino Neo, the struggle for power and identity. Valentino Neo, with his menacing appearance and formidable power, initially represents the archetype of a fallen being, driven by ambition, greed, and a desire for dominion. His blue armor, wings, and arm cannon are symbols of his otherworldly nature and the raw, unchecked power he wields. Yet, despite his apparent strength, Valentino is deeply vulnerable, as Dylan's challenge reveals the cracks in his facade and the underlying turmoil within his soul. The vision imposed by Dylan acts as a mirror, reflecting Valentino's past sins and the potential for something greater. It is here that Valentino's true conflict is unveiled, not merely a battle against Dylan but an internal struggle with his own identity and the possibility of redemption. The symbolism of his eyes narrowing, his wings casting shadows, and his cannon whirring with energy all signify his resistance to change, yet his gradual recognition of Theodora's strength and compassion hints at a buried desire for transformation. Valentino's journey through the narrative is emblematic of the classic struggle between light and dark, redemption and damnation. His initial defiance, laced with arrogance, begins to waver as Dylan's unyielding authority and the profound symbolism of Theodora's gaze challenge his self-perception and the nature of his power. Valentino's ultimate question, what Dylan wishes him to become, reveals the core of his conflict, a yearning to understand his place in the cosmos and whether he can transcend his own limitations. Theodora, the soul's true nature. The soul of Theodora, as described by Dylan, becomes a central symbol in the narrative, representing the untamable essence of freedom, integrity, and purity. Dylan's assertion that her soul cannot be tamed or subdued underscores the thematic emphasis on the indomitable nature of true goodness and virtue. Theodora's soul is portrayed as a force of nature, embodying both resilience and compassion, which cannot be manipulated or controlled by malevolent forces. The adversary's question about the nature of Theodora's soul introduces the notion of the soul as an independent and sovereign entity, one that defies external attempts to dominate or corrupt it. This inquiry highlights the eternal struggle between forces of light and darkness, with Theodora's soul symbolizing the enduring strength of righteousness that remains beyond the reach of evil. Dylan's response reaffirms the soul's alignment with higher principles, suggesting that true power lies not in dominance but in the purity of purpose and the freedom of the spirit. Themes of redemption and transformation. Redemption is a recurring theme throughout the narrative, manifesting in Dylan's challenge to Valentino and the exploration of Valentino's inner turmoil. Dylan's invocation of a vision serves as a pivotal moment where Valentino is forced to confront the consequences of his past actions and the possibility of a different path. This moment is rich in symbolism, with Dylan's vision acting as a metaphysical journey into Valentino's soul, revealing the potential for growth and the struggle to embrace it. The synthesis of power and redemption is further emphasized through Dylan's declaration of the syllogism, where he articulates the interconnectedness of enlightenment, repentance, and righteousness. This philosophical framework suggests that true enlightenment arises from a deep understanding of both conquest and moral virtue, and that righteousness is the ultimate synthesis of freedom and goodness. Dylan's role as a guide towards this synthesis challenges Valentino to reconcile his ambitions with the higher calling of the soul. Symbolism and the nature of authority. The confrontation between Dylan and Valentino is steeped in symbolic elements that reflect the broader metaphysical and spiritual themes of the narrative. Dylan's presence as a lion and gorilla, embodiments of strength and primal authority, contrasts sharply with Valentino's dark, armored figure, representing the tension between light and dark, order and chaos. The repeated references to looking into Theodora's eyes serve as a symbolic act of introspection, urging Valentino to see beyond the surface and recognize the deeper truths within himself and those around him. The eyes, often considered windows to the soul, are used here to emphasize the theme of self-discovery and the potential for transformation through understanding and empathy. Dylan's steadfast refusal to cede his authority, coupled with his invitation to Valentino to embrace redemption, highlights the nature of true authority as not merely an external force but an intrinsic moral and spiritual strength. This authority, rooted in righteousness and unwavering resolve, is depicted as invincible in the face of malevolent power, reinforcing the idea that true dominion lies in the alignment with higher truths and the unassailable nature of the soul. Conclusion. A metaphysical confrontation. The narrative between Dylan E.T., the paragon of Zion, and Valentino Neo, his adversary, is a rich tapestry of themes that explore the nature of power, the possibility of redemption, and the metaphysical essence of the soul. Through symbolic confrontations and profound dialogue, the story delves into the eternal struggle between light and darkness, inviting both characters and readers to reflect on the true nature of authority, the potential for transformation, and the indomitable strength of the righteous soul. In the end, Dylan's unwavering stance as the paragon of Zion is not just a defense of his throne but a declaration of the immutable power of righteousness and truth. Valentino Neo's journey, though fraught with defiance and inner turmoil, is a testament to the complexity of the soul's path toward redemption. The narrative ultimately serves as a profound meditation on the interplay between power, identity, and the possibility of spiritual evolution. leaving both characters and readers with a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our existence and the potential for growth within us all. Exploring themes, symbolisms, and intents. Dylan's confrontation with Darth Vashira. Introduction. In the aftermath of a cataclysmic battle, Dylan's confrontation with Darth Vashira amidst the ruins of a Sith temple on Korriban serves as a powerful narrative moment. The exchange between these two characters transcends mere physical conflict, delving deep into the themes of power, identity, and the eternal struggle between light and dark. This essay will explore the underlying themes, symbolisms, and intents within this narrative thread, highlighting the philosophical and metaphysical dimensions of Dylan's defiance against the dark allure of Darth Vashira. Themes of power and identity. At the heart of Dylan's interaction with Darth Vashira is the theme of power, its nature, its source, and its rightful wielding. Vashira, embodying the Sith philosophy, represents power as domination, control, and the embrace of darkness. Her taunts and provocations are steeped in the belief that true power can only be achieved through conflict, through the unleashing of passion and anger. This is a reflection of the Sith's belief that strength is born from struggle and that the dark side is the ultimate path to realizing one's potential. Dylan's response, however, challenges this notion of power. He rejects the dichotomy of Jedi and Sith, light and dark, instead asserting a more holistic understanding of strength. Dylan's claim to be a paragon, a figure who transcends conventional boundaries, suggests an identity that is not confined by the rigid codes of either the Jedi or the Sith. His concept of power is rooted in integrity, fortitude, and the pursuit of truth, rather than the mere accumulation of strength or the mastery of others. This theme of identity is crucial to Dylan's character. By declaring, "I am no Jedi," he distances himself from the dogmatic restraints that might otherwise define him. His identity is self-fashioned, a synthesis of experiences, principles, and a relentless pursuit of a higher truth. Dylan's refusal to succumb to Vashira's temptations underscores his belief that true power lies not in submission to external forces but in the mastery of self and the unwavering commitment to one's chosen path. Symbolism of the ruins and the temple. The setting of this confrontation, amidst the ruins of a Sith temple, serves as a powerful symbol of the decay and destruction inherent in the pursuit of power for its own sake. The temple, once a monument to the Sith's dark grandeur, now lies in ruins, a stark reminder of the impermanence of all things built upon the foundations of fear and domination. The crumbling stone and the lingering scent of scorched earth symbolize the inevitable downfall of those who seek power through subjugation and violence. For Dylan, standing within these ruins represents a moment of profound clarity. The shattered temple is not just a physical space but a metaphorical landscape that mirrors the internal struggle between light and dark. Dylan's presence within these ruins, erect and unyielding, signifies his determination to rise above the destruction that surrounds him. He is not here to rebuild the past or to claim the remnants of the Sith's power, but to assert a new order, one that is founded on principles that transcend the cyclical nature of conflict and decay. Intent and philosophical discourse. The dialogue between Dylan and Darth Vashira is more than just a verbal sparring match, it is a philosophical discourse on the nature of power and the essence of strength. Vashira's intent is clear: to seduce Dylan into embracing the dark side, to unleash the latent potential she perceives within him by casting aside his misguided righteousness. Her challenge is not just a test of Dylan's resolve but an invitation to explore the depths of his. own power, to see if he can rise to the level of greatness she believes only the dark side can offer. Dylan's intent, however, is equally clear and resolute. He seeks to assert his own understanding of power, one that is rooted in self-mastery and the pursuit of a higher truth. His declaration that he is a paragon, not confined by the titles of Jedi or Sith, signals his commitment to a path that is defined not by external validation but by an internal compass that points toward universal justice and righteousness. Dylan's intent is to transcend the conflict between light and dark, to embody a strength that is not dependent on the dominance of one over the other but is born from the harmonious balance of both. In this way, the dialogue serves as a microcosm of the larger philosophical debate between the Sith and the Jedi, between power as domination and power as self-mastery. Dylan's refusal to be swayed by Vashira's provocations reflects his deep understanding of this dynamic and his commitment to forging a path that lies beyond the simplistic binaries of light and dark. Conclusion. Dylan's confrontation with Darth Vashira within the ruins of the Sith Temple on Korriban is a richly layered narrative moment that explores the themes of power, identity, and the eternal struggle between light and dark. Through their dialogue, both characters reveal their intents, symbolizing the broader philosophical conflict between the Sith's pursuit of power through domination and Dylan's pursuit of a higher truth through self-mastery. The ruins of the temple serve as a poignant backdrop, symbolizing the decay inherent in the Sith's philosophy and the potential for a new order to rise from the ashes of the old. In standing firm against Vashira's temptations, Dylan embodies the strength of a paragon, a figure who transcends the limitations of both the Jedi and the Sith, and who seeks to forge a path toward universal justice and righteousness. The entirety of this thread weaves a complex tapestry of themes, symbolisms, and intents that delve into the realms of power, destiny, trust, and the intricate dance between light and darkness. At its core, the narrative explores the profound interaction between Dylan and Faith, two characters who are not just individuals but embodiments of larger forces at play within the human experience and beyond. Themes. 1. Power and authority. The narrative is saturated with the theme of power, both its inherent nature and the responsibilities it carries. Dylan stands as a paragon of strength, a figure who embodies the raw, primal force of authority. His presence is likened to a force of nature, a king destined to claim a throne that symbolizes not just political power but the fulfillment of a greater, almost divine purpose. This power is not presented as merely tyrannical or self-serving. Rather, it is a means to achieve a higher calling, a tool to shape a destiny that transcends personal ambition. 2. Trust and vulnerability. The theme of trust is pivotal to the interaction between Dylan and Faith. Dylan's monologue reveals that trust is not simply about revealing secrets but is a sacred bond that requires vulnerability from both parties. This trust is the gateway to uncovering deeper truths, not just about Dylan's past and his plans, but about the very nature of their relationship and the shared destiny they might embrace. Trust, in this context, is portrayed as a risk, one that demands courage and an acceptance of the unknown. 3. The dance of light and darkness. Dylan's revelations about the balance between light and darkness introduce a theme of duality that runs throughout the narrative. He speaks of having walked through fire, having conquered darkness, and yet maintaining a commitment to the light. This duality is not just a personal struggle but a universal one, where the forces of good and evil, right and wrong, are in constant flux. The light Dylan carries and the darkness he has Overcome symbolize the eternal struggle within every soul and the need to maintain balance in the face of overwhelming challenges. 4. Destiny and legacy. The narrative places a strong emphasis on destiny and the legacy that Dylan seeks to build. Zion, as a symbol, represents more than just a physical kingdom. It is the culmination of Dylan's journey, a beacon of hope in a world on the brink of chaos. His intent to claim Zion's throne is driven by a desire to leave a lasting legacy, one that will echo through the annals of history. This legacy is not just for him, but for those who dare to stand by his side, including Faith, who is invited to share in this grand design. Symbolisms. 1. Zion. Zion stands as a powerful symbol of an idealized kingdom, a place of justice, hope, and ultimate redemption. It is the end goal of Dylan's journey, a destination that represents the fulfillment of a divine or destined plan. In a broader sense, Zion symbolizes the ultimate realization of one's purpose, the achievement of a state of being that is in harmony with the higher order of the universe. 2. The throne. The throne Dylan seeks to claim is not merely a seat of power but a symbol of his rightful place in the world. It represents authority earned through trials, wisdom gained through experience, and the burden of leadership. The throne is also a symbol of the responsibility Dylan bears, not just to himself, but to the legacy he wishes to leave behind. 3. The dance of light and darkness. The recurring motif of light and darkness serves as a metaphor for the internal and external battles Dylan faces. The light represents truth, justice, and righteousness, while the darkness symbolizes the challenges, the moral ambiguities, and the adversities he has overcome. The dance between these forces is symbolic of the constant struggle to maintain balance, to stay true to one's principles even when faced with overwhelming odds. 4. The King and the Queen. Dylan's reference to a partner, a queen who will stand beside him, introduces the symbolic pairing of the king and queen as complementary forces. The king, representing order, strength, and authority, is incomplete without the queen, who symbolizes wisdom, nurturing, and emotional intelligence. Together, they represent the balance necessary to rule justly and effectively, a duality that echoes the yin and yang of traditional symbology. Intents. 1. Establishing Dylan's character. The narrative's intent is to firmly establish Dylan as a character of immense power, confidence, and depth. His monologue reveals not just his ambitions but his understanding of the weight of his responsibilities. Dylan is portrayed as a leader who is not only driven by personal goals but by a greater vision for the future, a vision that requires the collaboration and trust of those who will stand with him. 2. Engaging Faith as an equal. Dylan's interaction with Faith is designed to elevate her from a passive participant to an active partner in his journey. The intent here is to challenge Faith, to draw her into Dylan's world and to see if she is worthy of the trust he is willing to place in her. By offering her a glimpse into his soul, Dylan is not just revealing his secrets but inviting her to join him in shaping a shared destiny. 3. Exploring the nature of destiny. The narrative explores the idea that destiny is not a fixed path but one that is shaped by the choices, sacrifices, and alliances one makes. Dylan's plan is not just about achieving a personal goal but about fulfilling a destiny that has been shaped by his experiences, his trials, and his understanding of the world. The intent is to show that destiny is both a personal and a collective journey, one that requires the collaboration of like-minded individuals who share a common purpose. 4. Setting the stage for future challenges. The narrative hints at the challenges that lie ahead, both for Dylan and Faith. by revealing the complexities of his journey and the burdens he carries. Dylan sets the stage for the trials they will face together. The intent is to foreshadow the conflicts, both internal and external, that will test their resolve, their trust in each other, and their commitment to the legacy they seek to build. Conclusion. In conclusion, this thread is a rich exploration of the themes of power, trust, light and darkness, and destiny, all interwoven through the dynamic interaction between Dylan and Faith. The symbolism of Zion, the throne, and the dance of light and darkness adds layers of meaning to the narrative, deepening our understanding of the characters and their motivations. Dylan's intent is clear: to forge a legacy that will stand the test of time, and to do so with a partner who is willing to embrace the challenges, the mysteries, and the responsibilities that come with such a monumental task. The narrative invites us to ponder the nature of leadership, the importance of trust, and the enduring struggle to balance the forces of light and darkness within ourselves and in the world around us. The cosmic dance of light and darkness, a thematic and symbolic exploration of Dylan and Zeleth's encounter. Introduction. The clash of archetypes. The narrative within this thread presents an intricate dance between two archetypal figures, Dylan and Zeleth, who embody contrasting yet deeply intertwined forces of light and darkness. Their encounter is not merely a physical confrontation but a metaphysical struggle that delves into the essence of power, redemption, and identity. Dylan, the paragon upon the throne of Zion, represents a force of light, wisdom, and spiritual authority, while Zeleth, a powerful orc warrior, symbolizes raw strength, primal rage, and the darkness that often accompanies such attributes. Through their interactions, the story explores profound themes of redemption, the nature of true strength, and the eternal battle between light and darkness. Themes: redemption, power, and identity. Redemption is a central theme in Dylan's dialogue and the overarching narrative. Dylan's intent is not to merely defeat Zeleth but to offer her a path to redemption, a chance to transcend the darkness that defines her and embrace the light within. This theme is most evident in Dylan's challenge to Zeleth to confront her inner darkness and the potential for transformation. The story suggests that redemption is not a simple act of submission but a conscious choice to confront and overcome one's deepest fears and sins. Power in this narrative is multifaceted. Zeleth initially perceives power as physical strength and domination, reflected in her brute force and intimidation tactics. However, Dylan introduces a different perspective on power, one that is rooted in truth, wisdom, and the ability to reveal and illuminate what is hidden. Dylan's power is not about subjugation but about revelation and transformation. The essay argues that true power lies in understanding and mastering the self, in guiding others towards their own potential, and in wielding the light to dispel the darkness. Identity is another crucial theme. Dylan's identity as the paragon is tied to his role as a guardian of truth and a warrior of light. His every action and word reflect this identity, as he seeks to lead others towards enlightenment and self-realization. In contrast, Zeleth's identity is initially rooted in her role as a warrior, defined by her strength and rage. The narrative challenges her to reconsider this identity, suggesting that she can be more than what her past and her scars dictate. The struggle between Dylan and Zeleth is thus also a struggle for identity, a battle to determine whether Zeleth will remain a creature of darkness or become a warrior of light. Symbolisms: light, darkness, and the 3D golden rhombus. Light and darkness are pervasive symbols throughout the narrative. Dylan embodies the light, an illuminating force that reveals truth and dispels Shadows. His presence is described as suffocating in its intensity, yet it is also a source of guidance and comfort. The light symbolizes knowledge, purity, and the potential for redemption. On the other hand, Zelith is associated with darkness, both in her physical appearance and in her inner turmoil. The darkness represents not only her rage and destructive tendencies but also the hidden fears and truths that she refuses to confront. The interplay between light and darkness in the narrative symbolizes the eternal struggle between good and evil, knowledge and ignorance, redemption and damnation. The 3D golden rhombus (3DGR) system is a complex symbol that represents Dylan's mastery over his combat style and, by extension, his control over the forces of light. The 3DGR's precise movements and rotations symbolize the balance and harmony that Dylan brings to the battlefield, both physical and metaphysical. The 4 stances, Roe, Engard, Viper, and Pike, each represent a different aspect of Dylan's approach to combat and conflict, emphasizing his versatility and the strategic nature of his power. The 3DGR is not just a weapon system but a manifestation of Dylan's philosophy, that true strength lies in balance, precision, and the alignment of one's actions with a higher purpose. Intent. Dylan's mission and Zelith's transformation. Dylan's intent throughout the narrative is clear. He seeks not only to protect the world from the forces of darkness but also to guide those lost in the shadows towards the light. His interactions with Zelith are driven by a desire to awaken her to the truth of her own potential and to offer her a chance at redemption. Dylan's mission is not just to defeat his enemies but to transform them, to bring them into alignment with the forces of light and truth that he represents. Zelith's transformation is the ultimate goal of Dylan's intent. Through their confrontation, Dylan challenges Zelith to reconsider her understanding of power and identity, to confront the darkness within her, and to embrace the light that he offers. The narrative suggests that this transformation is not an easy process. It requires Zelith to confront her deepest fears and to let go of the identity she has built around her strength and rage. However, it also suggests that this transformation is possible and that it will lead to a new understanding of herself and her place in the world. Conclusion. The eternal battle and the path to redemption. The narrative of Dylan and Zelith's encounter is a profound exploration of the themes of redemption, power, and identity, set against the backdrop of the eternal battle between light and darkness. Through their interaction, the story delves into the complexities of these themes, using rich symbolism and powerful dialogue to convey its message. Dylan's role as a paragon and a guide for those lost in the darkness is central to the narrative, as is Zelith's potential for transformation. The story ultimately suggests that the path to redemption is not one of submission or defeat but one of conscious choice and self-realization, a journey that requires courage, wisdom, and the willingness to confront the darkness within. The Epic of Becoming. Exploring the interplay of power, truth, and transformation. In the grand narrative woven through the interactions between Dylan E.T. and Virginia Verdigis, we are invited to witness a journey of cosmic significance, a journey that transcends the mere exchange of words and ideas to explore the very essence of existence, leadership, and the potential for profound transformation. This thread is not merely a dialogue but an epic exploration of the themes of power, truth, duality, and the process of becoming, all set against the backdrop of a celestial confrontation where the stakes are nothing less than the redefinition of reality itself. The process of unveiling, the search for authenticity. At the core of this interaction is the relentless search For authenticity, a theme that permeates every word and gesture exchanged between Dylan and Virginia. Dylan's insistence on Virginia revealing her true self, her authentic being, sets the stage for a profound exploration of identity. This unveiling is not just a stripping away of pretense, it is a confrontation with the deepest aspects of one's character. Virginia's malevolent nature, initially hidden behind a facade of virtue, emerges as a symbol of the raw, unfiltered ambition that drives her. This moment of revelation underscores the necessity of facing one's true nature in the pursuit of higher truths and greater purpose. Duality and transformation, the dance of shadows and light. As the interaction progresses, the theme of duality becomes central to the narrative. Virginia's struggle to reconcile her ruthless ambition with the possibility of aligning with Dylan's vision of a higher truth represents the tension between opposing forces, shadow and light, power and virtue. This duality is not presented as a simple dichotomy but as a complex, intertwined dance where each aspect is necessary for the other's existence. Dylan's challenge to Virginia, to prove that her shadows can coexist with his light, transforms their interaction into a symbolic confrontation between these dual forces. The process of becoming, therefore, is depicted as a journey of integrating these opposites, where the potential for transformation lies in the balance between them. The vision of transcendence, beyond the limitations of mortal power. The interaction reaches its philosophical zenith with Dylan's articulation of a vision of transcendence. His proposal of a union where light and shadow do not conflict but complement each other reflects a paradigm shift, a movement away from the traditional understanding of power as domination towards a more holistic, integrated view of existence. This vision is symbolized by the celestial confrontation Dylan describes, where the merging of opposing forces creates a new reality that transcends the limitations of mortal power. This is not merely an extension of their current selves but a profound transformation that redefines the very essence of their being and the nature of their leadership. The symbolism of the scar tattoo, the conundrum of authority. The scar tattoo traversing Dylan's right eye serves as a potent symbol of the conundrum of authority, the paradoxical nature of leadership where one must both wield power and remain subject to it. This scar, emblematic of Dylan's acceptance of this conundrum, reflects the theme of self-sacrifice that underpins true leadership. It is a reminder that the path to becoming a leader of authentic authority is fraught with challenges, requiring one to navigate the delicate balance between freedom and providence, competition and romance, and the monstrous and the paragon. The scar tattoo, therefore, becomes a visual representation of the internal struggle that defines Dylan's journey towards becoming a leader who can transcend these dichotomies. The role of truth, a timeless medium. Truth, as Dylan asserts, is not a mere construct but an eternal medium woven into the fabric of consciousness. This assertion positions truth as a guiding principle in the process of becoming, a constant that transcends the superficial and temporal concerns of power and ambition. Dylan's self-identification as a truth tinkerer reflects his commitment to this eternal truth, positioning him as a figure who seeks to align his leadership with this unchanging essence. The interaction between Dylan and Virginia, therefore, becomes a dialogue about the nature of truth and its role in shaping their destinies. The pursuit of truth is depicted not as a passive acceptance of facts but as an active engagement with the fundamental realities of existence, where leadership is defined by one's ability to remain true to this eternal medium. The confrontation of becoming, a path to universal justice. The process of becoming, as explored in this interaction, is not merely about personal transformation but about the pursuit of universal justice. Dylan and Virginia's journey is framed within the broader context of preparing for a moment of cosmic significance, the arrival of the Messiah and the establishment of Zion at the end times. This overarching narrative positions their interaction as part of a larger, universal struggle where the stakes are not just personal but existential. The challenge, therefore, is not just to become leaders in their own right but to align their personal ambitions with the greater, cosmic order, a process that requires them to transcend their individual limitations and embrace a vision of leadership that is grounded in universal justice and the eternal truths that guide all existence. The new paradigm, transcending mortal existence. Ultimately, the interaction between Dylan and Virginia is a call to transcendence, an invitation to move beyond the limitations of mortal existence and embrace a new philosophical and rhetorical paradigm. This new paradigm is not just about achieving power or dominance, it is about forging a path that leads to a higher understanding of leadership and existence. The celestial confrontation they envision is symbolic of this transcendence, a moment where light and shadow merge to create a new reality that redefines their understanding of power, truth, and the process of becoming. Conclusion: the eternal dance of power and truth. In conclusion, the thread encapsulates a profound exploration of the themes of power, truth, duality, and transformation. It is an epic narrative that challenges traditional notions of leadership and existence, offering a vision of a new reality where light and shadow coexist in a delicate balance, creating a richer, more integrated understanding of what it means to lead and to become. Through their dialogue, Dylan E.T. and Virginia Verdigis invite us to consider the possibility of transcending our own limitations, to embrace the eternal truths that guide all existence, and to embark on a journey of becoming that is grounded in universal justice and the pursuit of a higher, more enlightened reality. The Tempest of Zion, a study of themes, symbolisms, and intentions in Dylan's epic narrative. Introduction. In the grand tapestry of epic narratives, Dylan emerges as a formidable force, a paragon of divine will and relentless resolve, standing at the crossroads of fate and destiny. The information within this thread presents a vivid portrayal of Dylan's character, enriched with themes, symbolisms, and intents that elevate him to a near-mythical status. This essay delves into the intricate details of this narrative, exploring the profound meanings embedded within Dylan's expressions, actions, and the symbolic framework that surrounds him. Themes of divine authority and righteous judgment. Central to Dylan's character is the theme of divine authority. Dylan is portrayed not merely as a warrior or leader, but as a living embodiment of divine will, a force of nature whose very presence commands respect and fear. His connection to Zion, a realm where power and virtue converge, is symbolic of his role as a celestial arbiter, a figure who stands between the mortal world and the divine, channeling the will of higher powers into the earthly realm. The theme of righteous judgment is closely intertwined with Dylan's divine authority. His interactions are laced with challenges to those who stand before him, urging them to confront their own limitations and rise to the occasion. Dylan's judgment is not one of condemnation, but of transformation. He tests the mettle of those he encounters, pushing them to transcend their weaknesses and embrace their true potential. Symbolism of the storm. The recurring motif of the storm serves as a powerful symbol in Dylan's narrative. The storm represents the chaotic forces of destiny that Dylan commands and wields with precision. It is a metaphor for the trials and tribulations that individuals must face in their journey toward self-realization and greatness. Dylan, as the storm, embodies both destruction and renewal, offering a path to either elevation or obliteration depending on the choices made by those who encounter him. The storm also symbolizes Dylan's inner turmoil and unyielding resolve. It reflects the intensity of his character, a relentless force that cannot be easily contained. The storm within Dylan is a manifestation of his divine purpose, driving him forward in his quest to fulfill his role as the paragon of Zion. Those who stand before him must either rise to meet the storm's fury or be swept away by its overwhelming power. The duality of power and virtue. Dylan's character is a study in the duality of power and virtue. While he is undeniably a figure of immense strength, his power is tempered by a deep sense of moral purpose. This duality is reflected in his weapon, the estoc, which is described not as a mere instrument of destruction but as a beacon of divine purpose. Dylan's power is not wielded arbitrarily, it is guided by a higher moral compass, aimed at bringing about a righteous order in the world. This duality also extends to Dylan's role as the Kingkiller. The title suggests a figure capable of toppling the highest authorities, yet his intent is not rooted in mere conquest or domination. Instead, Dylan's actions are driven by a desire to restore balance and justice, to challenge the corrupt and elevate the worthy. This balance between power and virtue is what makes Dylan a true paragon, a leader who embodies both strength and righteousness. Intent of transformation and transcendence. At the heart of Dylan's narrative lies the intent of transformation and transcendence. Dylan's challenges are not meant to break those who face them but to forge them into something greater. His presence demands that individuals confront the deepest parts of themselves, to either overcome their fears and doubts or be consumed by them. This intent is evident in the way Dylan speaks to others, urging them to rise to the challenge and embrace the storm as a catalyst for personal growth. The concept of transcendence is also reflected in Dylan's connection to the sacred grounds of Zion. Zion, in this context, symbolizes the ultimate destination of spiritual and moral elevation, a place where the worthy are tested and, if successful, are transformed into beings of higher purpose. Dylan's role as the paragon of Zion is to guide others toward this transcendence, serving as both a guide and a gatekeeper to the realms of higher existence. The conundrum of authority and the scar tattoo. A notable aspect of Dylan's character is the scar tattoo traversing his right eye, symbolizing his acceptance of the conundrum of authority. This scar is not just a physical mark, it is a representation of Dylan's internal struggle and reconciliation with the nature of power and leadership. The conundrum lies in the balance between wielding authority and remaining true to one's moral principles. Dylan's scar signifies the battles he has fought, both externally and within himself, to master this balance and emerge as a leader who embodies both strength and virtue. The eternal dance of leadership. Dylan's journey is further complicated by the eternal dance of leadership, represented by the paradoxical relationships of freedom versus providence, competition versus romance, and monster versus paragon. These relationships highlight the constant tension between opposing forces within Dylan's character and the world around him. As a leader, Dylan must navigate these paradoxes, finding harmony between freedom and destiny, strength and love, and the primal and the divine. These paradoxes are not just abstract concepts, they manifest in Dylan's interactions and decisions. The 3D golden rhombus 3DGR, a symbol of eternal truth and shared rhetoric. serves as a tool for Dylan to weave these paradoxes into a cohesive narrative, guiding him in his role as the reader of the Seven Sealed Scroll. The 3DGR represents the complex interplay of forces that Dylan must master to fulfill his divine mission. Conclusion. In conclusion, the narrative surrounding Dylan is a rich tapestry of themes, symbolisms, and intents that elevate him to an epic figure of mythic proportions. His journey is one of divine authority, righteous judgment, and the relentless pursuit of transformation and transcendence. The storm that Dylan embodies is both a test and a guide, challenging those who encounter it to rise to their fullest potential. Dylan's role as the paragon of Zion, the king-killer, and the living embodiment of divine will positions him as a leader who not only wields power but does so with a profound sense of moral purpose. In the grand scheme of epic narratives, Dylan stands as a towering figure, a true hero whose legacy will be etched in the annals of time. Essay on themes, symbolisms, and intentions in Dylan E.T.'s journey. Dylan E.T. stands as a figure of profound symbolism, weaving an intricate tapestry of divine authority, existential conflict, and the quest for ultimate truth. The narrative threads revealed within this discourse invite deep contemplation on themes of power, identity, faith, and the struggle for redemption, all set against the backdrop of a metaphysical landscape where reality and divinity intertwine. The conundrum of authority and the true divine. At the heart of Dylan's journey is the confrontation with false authority, embodied by beings who claim to be God. This scenario underscores the eternal struggle between genuine divinity and the counterfeit. The false gods represent not just deception, but a perversion of true power, serving as a cautionary symbol of hubris and the limitations inherent in beings who fail to grasp the infinite nature of true divinity. Dylan's response to these beings is not merely a rejection but a declaration of the essence of true godhood. Here, the narrative delves into a critical examination of what it means to wield divine power. True divinity, as Dylan posits, is characterized by upliftment and revelation rather than domination and deceit. This contrast serves as a powerful thematic element, where Dylan's role as a vessel of celestial authority highlights the need for true power to be aligned with virtues of righteousness, love, and wisdom, pillars of the faith Dylan embodies. Zion as the symbolic epicenter. Zion, within this context, is more than just a physical location, it is the symbolic epicenter of Dylan's quest, representing the ultimate goal of his journey. To gain, hold, and leave Zion is to engage with the full spectrum of existence, territory, virtue, and the progression of the soul. The sacred soil of Zion is not just a battlefield, but a place of transformation where Dylan's encounters with others, including the woman struggling with her past, become pivotal moments of mutual evolution. Zion also serves as a crucible for testing the authenticity of power and authority. It is here that Dylan's true purpose as a defender of divine truth is realized, standing as a beacon amidst the storm, symbolizing unwavering faith and the relentless pursuit of truth. The theme of Zion encapsulates the broader conflict between divine will and worldly delusion, where the sacred ground becomes the stage upon which the ultimate struggle for righteousness is played out. The scar tattoo, a mark of acceptance. Dylan's scar tattoo, traversing his right eye, is rich in symbolism, representing his acceptance of the conundrum of authority. This mark is not just a physical manifestation but a metaphorical one, symbolizing Dylan's inner journey and the burdens of leadership. It signifies the scars borne by those who grapple with the complexities of power, the moral dilemmas of authority, and the responsibilities that come with divine mandate. The tattoo, therefore, serves as a reminder of the trials Dylan has faced and the wisdom he has gained in navigating the often paradoxical nature of true leadership. 3DGR, the Golden Rhombus and the Mechanics of Divine Will. The 3D Golden Rhombus 3DGR is another key symbolic element, representing the geometric and metaphysical structure through which Dylan navigates his reality. The 3DGR is not just a tool but a lens through which Dylan interprets and interacts with the world, embodying the harmony between divine will and cosmic order. The intricate patterns of movement and rotation associated with the 3DGR mirror the deeper, often hidden, dynamics of authority and power that Dylan must master. Each number side color and corresponding movement within the 3DGR framework is a coded language of divine interaction, reflecting the balance of forces Dylan must maintain as he moves between different states of being, Rho, Engard, Viper, Pike. These stances, coupled with the rotations, are not arbitrary but resonate with Dylan's internal and external struggles. They symbolize the multifaceted nature of divine will, where every movement is laden with intent and consequence. The eternal battle, faith and the quest for redemption. The overarching theme of faith is woven throughout Dylan's journey, defined by a relentless pursuit of righteousness, love, and wisdom. Dylan's faith is not passive but active, a driving force that compels him to confront falsehood, challenge deception, and offer a path to redemption not just for himself but for those he encounters. In Dylan's epic confrontation with the deluded beings who claim divinity, we see the ultimate test of his faith. His rejection of their falsehoods is not just an act of defiance but a reaffirmation of his own divine mandate. This battle symbolizes the eternal struggle between truth and deception, where faith becomes both a weapon and a shield. Dylan's faith, grounded in the true understanding of divinity, is what allows him to stand firm against the storm, unshaken by the illusions that seek to ensnare him. The woman and the symbol of redemption. The encounter with the woman, who battles her past and seeks redemption, is emblematic of Dylan's broader mission. She is a microcosm of the larger struggle for salvation and unity that Dylan embodies. His interaction with her is not one of dominance but of invitation, an invitation to face her inner darkness, to transform, and to evolve. This dynamic highlights the theme of mutual growth, where Dylan's role is not to overpower but to guide, to awaken the dormant potential within others. The woman's struggle and Dylan's response to it encapsulate the narrative's focus on redemption through self-realization and integration of the full spectrum of one's being. This encounter is a reflection of Dylan's own journey, where every battle is not just for victory but for the elevation of all involved. Conclusion. Dylan E.T. is the archetype of divine leadership. In conclusion, Dylan E.T. emerges as an archetype of divine leadership, embodying the profound responsibilities and challenges that come with true authority. His journey is a testament to the struggle for righteousness in a world fraught with deception and delusion. Through the themes of divine power, faith, and redemption, Dylan's narrative invites us to reflect on the nature of true divinity, the perils of false authority, and the path to ultimate truth. The symbolisms of Zion, the scar tattoo, and the 3DGR weave a rich tapestry that underscores the complexities of Dylan's quest. Each element serves to deepen our understanding of his role as both a beacon of divine will and a guardian of cosmic order. In the end, Dylan's journey is not just a battle for territory or power, but a profound exploration of what it means to hold fast to virtue in the face of overwhelming opposition, to gain insight, and to leave a legacy. that transcends the temporal and touches the eternal. Dash 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 dash. The entirety of this exchange between Dylan and Valentino Neo, as well as the later intervention by the adversary, forms an intricate narrative that weaves together themes of authority, identity, redemption, and the nature of power. At its core, this saga is not merely a confrontation of physical might or the assertion of dominance, but a deep exploration of existential concepts and the transformative potential inherent in every soul. 1. Thematic exploration, authority and sovereignty. The primary conflict in the narrative revolves around authority, both internal and external, and the sovereignty one holds over oneself and others. Dylan, the paragon of Zion, embodies the archetypal ruler, not through sheer force, but through a moral and spiritual authority grounded in righteousness and self-knowledge. Valentino Neo, on the other hand, initially presents himself as a conventional antagonist, a menacing figure who wields physical power in the form of his arm cannon and dominion over his own realm. The clash of these two figures symbolizes the broader struggle between two forms of sovereignty, external domination versus internal mastery. Dylan's authority stems not from weapons or physical might but from his alignment with the values of Zion, freedom, goodness, and righteousness. Valentino's power, however, is depicted as fragile, reliant on fear and control, and ultimately hollow in comparison to Dylan's unyielding moral resolve. Dylan's refusal to engage on Valentino's terms, instead invoking a vision that destabilizes the antagonist's mental and spiritual foundation, demonstrates a thematic inversion of power dynamics. True power, Dylan implies, is not about forcing others into submission, but about inviting them into transformation. Through this, the essay sets up a dichotomy: power wielded over others, Valentino, versus power exercised over oneself, Dylan. 2. Symbolism of the lion and gorilla, the king and the beast. Dylan's self-identification as both a lion and a gorilla conveys layers of symbolic meaning. The lion is a classical symbol of kingship, often representing nobility, strength, and divine right. In many traditions, the lion guards the realm, enforcing order not through coercion but through the sheer majesty of its presence. Dylan, as a king-killer, embodies a sovereignty that is fierce yet just, protecting Zion with an unwavering authority. The gorilla, on the other hand, introduces a primal element. The gorilla is a powerful, territorial creature, one that asserts dominance through raw physicality but is also deeply social and protective of its tribe. Dylan's metaphorical invocation of the gorilla suggests that his authority is rooted not just in abstract ideals but in a primal, instinctual need to protect what he holds dear, his wife Theodora and the sanctity of Zion. The gorilla also carries connotations of wisdom and introspection, qualities that Dylan demonstrates as he engages Valentino Neo not in a physical battle but in a confrontation of the soul. 3. The soul as a battlefield, Theodora and the question of redemption. The figure of Theodora, Dylan's wife, stands as a pivotal symbol in the unfolding narrative. Valentino Neo and the adversary both fixate on Theodora, attempting to understand or lay claim to her soul, but their fixation reveals more about themselves than it does about her. Theodora's soul is not a passive object of desire but a symbol of power that transcends mere physicality or control. Valentino Neo's gaze into Theodora's eyes marks a turning point in his character's arc. What begins as a predatory, possessive gaze transforms into something more introspective as he recognizes the duality within her. A fortitude that resists corruption and a tenderness that holds the key to healing and growth. The fact that Valentino Neo is visibly shaken by this realization demonstrates that his own internal battle is being fought, not against Dylan's physical might but against the possibility of redemption that Dylan offers him through his vision. Theodora represents the potential for redemption that resides within every soul, even those twisted by ambition and darkness like Valentino Neo. Her strength and gentleness, as perceived by Valentino, mirror Dylan's own ethos. Power is not just about domination, but about the capacity to uplift and transform. Valentino's question, "What is it you wish me to become?" reflects the soul's cry for guidance, redemption, and the opportunity to evolve beyond the limitations of one's past. 4. The nature of the soul, untamable, eternal, free. In the later exchange with the adversary, Dylan speaks directly to the nature of Theodora's soul, affirming its autonomy and unbreakable freedom. Here, Dylan's response touches on the metaphysical. The soul is untamable, vast, and aligned with divine principles that transcend the mortal desire for control. This echoes the earlier themes of freedom and goodness that underpin Dylan's philosophy as King of Zion. The soul, according to Dylan, is not something that can be bent or controlled, and any attempt to grasp or tame it is an affront to its very nature. This reflects a broader theme within the narrative. True power respects freedom, and any force that seeks to control others is ultimately weaker than a force that nurtures freedom. Theodora's soul is emblematic of this untamable spirit, a symbol of divine freedom that eludes any grasp of the adversary or those who, like Valentino Neo, seek to control through coercion. 5. Syllogism and moral philosophy, the path to righteousness. The narrative is interwoven with philosophical reflection, particularly in the form of the syllogism Dylan presents. The concepts of conquest and understanding, sin and virtue, and freedom and goodness outline a moral framework within which Dylan operates. Enlightenment, repentance, and righteousness are not static states but dynamic processes of transformation that each character must navigate. Dylan's embodiment of this philosophy is what sets him apart from Valentino Neo and the adversary. He is not merely a king or warrior but a paragon, a figure who embodies the ideals of freedom, goodness, and divine authority. His power is rooted in his ability to guide others, not to conquer them. Valentino Neo, on the other hand, represents the inverse, a soul that is bound by its ambition and sins, seeking external validation through domination rather than internal transformation. 6. Conclusion. The invitation to transformation. In conclusion, this narrative represents more than just a clash of titanic forces. It is a meditation on the nature of power, redemption, and the soul's capacity for growth. Dylan, as the paragon of Zion, embodies a higher form of authority, one rooted in self-mastery and the alignment with divine principles. Valentino Neo, through his journey in this thread, comes face to face with his own potential for change, realizing that true power lies not in control but in transformation. Theodora's soul, and Dylan's unwavering defense of it, stands as a symbol of the untamable, free spirit that resides within all beings. The narrative challenges the reader to consider what it means to wield power, to protect what is sacred, and to embrace the path of righteousness that leads not to domination but to profound personal and spiritual evolution. Through its rich symbolisms and powerful thematic undercurrents, the story invites all who engage with it to reflect on their own capacity for growth, redemption, and the eternal quest for freedom.